zikupanga bezintu zosiyana komabe we are better off in terms of we need to see kuti mwina boma libange motani komanso mwina pa zinthu zimene zikhale zikuyenda motani.
No, as you rightly put it, mademo adzulo amachitika Luntha ya Mangochi Nzuzu Lilongwe. Lido Nzuzu Blantyre Nzuzu, I think ndinaona ndithu kuti zinatha kuenda bwino mwina anthu anakasiya petition, so was in Mangochi. Of course in Mangochi demonstrators and apolisi anadzakhangata axashana kuti ngokunoko nde tikhozonena kuti anthu sadaende ngomwe wazisadayambike ngomwe zinapezeka kuti machete crew as they are describing it in the nation.
But where is this machete crew coming from?
They can, okay, personally as Tandiwe, I cannot for sure tell you that.
Okay.
Mangokha issues ama speculations ukuthi izikhozokhole zikuchokera kuti. Koma no, all in all zimene zikuchitika zipikufa akasekoyamba eti chifukwa chonena kuti we have been seeing this happening.
Exactly.
And this is tikhozoona kuti zikuchitika kachikena. You know, and kunena chilungamo pa ufulu wa anthu wopanga demonstrate izi sizikuyenda. Malawi is a democratic country, and as we're heading towards the September 16th 2025 general elections, this creates much more fear. People have the right to express themselves. And literally this week, Bungwe Lama Electoral Commission inakumanizana ndi IMDF, Amalai Police Service, ndi ntambi za chitetezo where ntambi za chitetezo they pledged as we're heading towards the elections, we pledge to protect Malawians, and that has everything to do with the electoral process.
Exactly.
The demonstrations also have something to do with the electoral process. For Mademoa, they had something to do with the citizens for credible elections. They are trying to fight for the proper electoral process, and in Zulolo they were calling for the resignation or the firing of the MEC chairperson and MEC CEO, and to see kunena kuti pali zokonezo zina zimene zinachitika iwo amangoona inalufulu awe to demonstrate is a human right, and to see kunena kuti it turned out the way it did. I think ichipanda the machete crew anthu akanatha kuyenda nokangosiya their petition
exactly.
And you can tell kuti zinthu sizinatheke ndikomwe sizikuyenda bwino ndi zikupereka mantha
kwambiri. In case you are just joining us, this is press review right here on Luntha television, and nkhani yathu yayikulu kwambiri ndiyokhudza ndithu machete crew dares MDF and police in Lilongwe demos as torch vehicles, steel PA system as police watch. Apolisi ndithu kumangoonelera namiwa kumenyedwa, MDF analipompo komanso ndithu magalimoto angapo tinene kuti awiri ayatsidwa komanso ndithu ya katundu atulankhani kumenyedwa, of which tione kuti ziyende motani koma nkhani yayikulu ndithu ndimeneyo, and zikupereka mantha kwambiri even to our donors. If madonna athu chabwino ngati dziko la Malawi akuona zinthu zimene zijazo brutality chani, I think ibende kuti zikhoza kuti vuta pena mpena ngati dziko.
I think, as you rightly put it, it only goes to show that we need to be very careful in the decisions that we make as a country as we're heading towards the elections. Chief Waja would entire many, like you said, the donors, Amakala with the Maswali, but like in this case, they're trying to see how are we respecting the electoral process.
Exactly.
This is lack of respect for the electoral
Imagine
process.
walking with a panga knives.
And who had the Kalandi Manta. And in Mzuzu, there was a lot turnout. And I'm not surprised. If last week in my demo, Punashitika saw situations like Machete Crew.
Yes. Machete Crew.
Yes. Which means Muna had the Kandi Manta to express themselves. People do demonstrate. People do a lot of vigils. And that is a human right.
Exactly.
It is supposed to be done the way like that. It's an expression of a human right, like we've said it.
Exactly.
I would take one on the second page of the Daily Times. The headline here is 35% of expenditure lost to malnutrition. And part of the story reads that the Ministry of Health has said hospitals in Malawi are losing 35% of their expenditure to diseases that could be prevented through proper nutrition. Health Deputy Minister Noah Shimpeni said this yesterday during the launch of the National Multi-Sector Nutrition Policy and Strategic Plan for 2025 to 2030. ndalama zathu 35% ya ndalama zathu mwisanzo ka ndondomeko ya ndalama ya chuma zikupita ku ntchito yopanga prevent matenda kapena kuti ikupita ku ntchito yogula mankhwala kapena kuthandiza anthu amene akudwala matenda amene ndiwoti akhoza kutetezeka kupeweka titero ngati anthu akudya bwino
kwambiri.
I think kwambiri ndiyonena kuti tipange we should invest more in kuonesesa kuti anthu akudya zakudya zabwino magulusikisi. Yes.
And panopa you can see kuti dziko la Malawi limalima ndi thumba zosiyanasiyana kuli mbatata zambiri and tisamangodera nsima yokhaya.
Of course.
Yeah, tiye tiziona kudali
zakatentha osamangoti aidzo sinnajefa ndajampunga aidzo sinna bwanji lamwoneka osasangalala iyi zilototagona ndi njala bwanji zakudya unalibata najampunga ungasoti zakudya mbatata pamene paja chinangwa ndi zinazizote.
Chabwino, let's get back to the nation. Youth demand action from government, and the whole story reads, the Youth Decide campaign YDC on Wednesday launched the 2025-2030 National Youth Manifesto with a call to government to address issues affecting the youth. And speaking during the launch at the opening of the National Youth Summit in Lilongwe, the Youth Decide campaign, Mwandida Teo observed that the country democratic dispersion has not delivered for young people. For the course of the Youth and Society, and to the launch, two-day launch, imene amakazikisa ndithu manifesto awo ngati Nyamata amene apemphazipani kuti andithu towards election onetsetse kuti manifesto awo awapanga include achinyamata kuti dzikoli achinyamata ndithu akhale akuyendetsa m'magawo osiyanasiyana.
Because masiku ano sitimati achinyamata ndatsogolera mawa ndatsogolera lero you know achinyamata ndatsogolera lero because it's really important to incorporate my ideas amene achinyamata makhala nawo chifukwa chonena kuti ndatsogolera lero dzikoli atsogolera amene akutsogolera pakadali panowa and ngakhale kuti mwina achinyamata awa mwina akhoza zatenga inde udindo ino ake pamawa koma akuyenera kuyamba lero kutenga nawo gawo kuti asazazizimuka akadzayikira pa udindo uja adzakhale kuti zinthu zako zitani akuzidziwa kale. So I think it is really great to see kunena kuti achinyamata akutenga nawo gawo. Do you have any more locals before we move on to business news?
I think I'm not.
Okay, so we move on to business news.
Exactly.
All right, I will take one here. A headline reads $100 billion trade finance gap holds back SMEs. And the sub-headline reads Malawi among African countries facing wide shortfall. And part of the story reads that Malawi is among African countries where the trade financing gap remains wide, affecting progress towards growth and development. A recent Africa Trade report issued by the African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, at its 32nd annual meetings underway in Abuja, Nigeria, shows that collectively the continent faces an annual trade finance gap of about $100 billion. That is a lot of money. Akuti mayiko amu Africa akuperewera ndalama pachaka china chilichonse ili ndi gapu ya ndalama zofunikira zokwana $100 billion zimene zingathandizire ku ntchito za malonda. Imene ndoti kumalawi kuno tikhoza kuti ndi chansi 200 trillion.
Ndalama zakanikani. Ndalama zakanikani. I think in terms of business, ndithu ziwoneka ngati kuti ndi zikutheka in terms of business as zambiri zikuchitika.
Okay. Okay.
Someone still on business. FCB celebrates 30 years of doing business in Malawi. We are talking about First Capital Bank. Akupanga ndi to celebrate. Kuti akwanitsa zaka zokwana 30 makumi atatu akugwira ntchito zosiyanasiyana. And in doing so, apart from their celebration, there's a match. I mean, ndithu awoza as one way of celebrating, whereby team to FCB Nyasa Big Bullets and team Super Strikers. That will be tomorrow on Bingu National Stadium. The team would Ziende Mutani. In their celebration, they are putting it as Kudia and Tundrama Zimena as Bezo Masera Manuwa. They want to Tandis and to school Luinga Technical Youth Center, Himendi to Imasulana, Pankandi to Zamasel.
Is that in Zuzu?
Yeah, Mzuzu, yeah.
Ah, okay. The Luinga name is why I was asking. Is where the schools in Mzuzu?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Shall we move on to arts and culture?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. On arts and culture, there's a headline here. It's Castel Brews Adventure Fest. And part of the story reads, Castel Malawi Limited has molded a new fiesta dubbed Adventure Festival to be held tomorrow at Kamuzu University of Health Sciences Kuhes Complex in Luntha. With its signature hashtag Sip the Adventure, the festival that unveils a bold new chapter that celebrates innovation, adventure, and culture will feature a pool of renowned artists including Tigran, Onesmus, Kelke, Skefa Shimodo, Gibopia Sony, Zambani Band, and Zeze Kingston. Adaka still Malawi Limited. Well, it's a new fiesta. It's Adventure Fest. Yamba mawa ku Kuhes ku Blantyre.
Blantyre. Zofunika ntoti yamazitsada.
Oho, inosema zitsada. Inosema zitsada. Kusata chani kwendikweni sokuti fumira fuso langa libwere pamene.
Okay, it's like sinangati they were obvious. It's a thing when you have to go and spend more. Yeah.
Oh, we can never tell. Akasitela abanga zakumwa zosiyana siyana.
Basi zaulele yali.
Si zaulele inde kumabe sinangama kha kuti zakumwa zawo zosiyana siyana zamitengo sosiyana.
Yeah.
Ino mukhoza kuona ngati kuti nthomba mwanu simukwanitsa koma mukapeza kuti mwina kuti chakumwa chomverera ndi nthomba mwanu. Inclusivity.
Anyway, let's get back to the back page of the Nation, and it's all about how Tabitha, Muntu captain, I mean, the Scourgers, and D2 has been honored from the Malawi National Council of Sports. I mean, D2 and D2 Amport showing
appreciation.
Exactly.
Could we see you and we appreciate you?
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Of course.
I'm a digger about Malawi, not just in Malawi, and of course outside as well.
Exactly.
About her and of course the sister Temwa as well.
Yeah,
they're doing the most.
And the recommendable thing in terms of football, it is Matandizo.
Mpira wa miendo ndemo kakhala nomadzati mpira wa miendo koma kusewera yake nakhalazi mai nairo kulowezani inu mukalemba lidio yambirira makhala mpira wa miendo umene osewera yake koma nakhalazi mai watele. On the back page rather of the Times newspaper, a headline here reads "Tone set for historic netball cup launch." Part of the story reads Netball Association of Malawi NAM and sponsors Nico Holdings have set the tone for the launch of the country's first ever One Nico Top 12 Netball Cup at Blantyre Sports Arena tomorrow. The two have lined up a number of activities, including a parade from Chibisa House in Blantyre to BSA, where there will be performances by various artists. You know about this?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
It's really Chibisa? It's Chibisa House?
Yeah.
Okay, I think being Tumbuka, I almost read it as Chibisa. I almost read it as Chibisa House. Yeah.
I remember I was in Mzuzu some other weeks ago. Yeah, I was like, is this Chibavi or Chiwavi?
It's Chivavi.
So
it's not even Chiwa.
Yeah.
Chivavi.
Yes.
So some guys very. I didn't tell about that. In your computer, we can buy a one.
Yeah, go be.
Do you have any more local?
I think it's all about an international story. It's all about FIFA Club World Cup. Right now, it's all about round of 16 and 2-1 Rudi Zende Motano, of which the likes of Real Madrid, Man City, Inter Miami, Juventus, Borussia Dortmund. The Madrid determined to round of 16, of which in the 2-1 Rudi add engagement in Dani.
Okay. Game again the jamaa winazure chakodi. Panda wona ni masoko sana. Famous citizens. Ndimene
yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ndada bari muone kwasangala bambiri. Aenda kumvesana. Anyways, Moving on to international sports, there's a headline here reads, Ronaldo stays put. Cristiano Ronaldo is close to agreeing a new contract to stay at Al Nassr. Is that it?
Yeah.
The 40-year-old feels at home in Saudi Arabia and wants to extend his stay. I think I saw pictures on social media. Ngarurwa sign so contract to, is it 2027 or something like that?
And we saw so many posts on his Facebook page. Has been Saudi has agreed.
Of course. I mean, which is good. With the legacy that he has. Because clearly Al Nassr, does it participate in Tungadi World Cup?
Yeah, I think Al Nassr is based in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And
the national team of Saudi Arabia?
No, it's a club.
Okay.
It's a club. Yeah, it's a club. And
for example, FC Binya is a big ball.
Exactly.
Okay.
And according to Kwao, the team are to compete in different competitions. And they're seeing him to extend the contract. I think it's a team with a revenue.
Of course.
Yeah, if it's a revenue, so it's a good the coming of next season is on the Tuesday.
Okay. Well, that also marks the end of our edition of Press Review for today, Friday, the 27th of June in the year 2025. Now, as always, we were not able to take you through all of the stories that are in the newspapers. So if you want to know the details to the stories that we've read and some of which we could not, get yourself the papers with the Daily Times going at the price of 3,000 kwacha and The Nation at the price of 2,500 Malawi kwacha.
Exactly.
And of course, still mongo kumbutsana kuti timapezeka so pa masamba amchezo. Tili pa Facebook, pamene pamutipeza pa Luntha Television, komanso pa YouTube, tili pa Luntha TV Official, pamene ndithu timayika ma program osiyanasiyana, komanso ngakhale imwe imene mukolera mukhoza kuti tsatiranso ndithu pa Facebook. Mutakhole simuli kunyumba mulibe mpata ndithu yasakanema naonera inutu teloni. Lero lino program imene munali ndi ine Thandi Mzumara komanso mzangayo
Patrick Pupa.
Pitizani ndithu kuona program atotsalira pano pakanema wa Luntha mukoma nonse.